Okay, so today I decided to try something new and see how I like it and how you like it, which is namely to record the video I commented on it. Uh, I play today with none other than legendary Scotsword. Um, Obviously, I play as Dracula because who else I can play and see how it goes. I actually started recording a bit later, so you can be guessing along with Scotsword where am I. I have something very special prepared for Scotsword, a very special start, but for my first recording, I wanted to do something more strategic. Uh, I knew he expects me to start east, and he knows that I really like go from Constanta to Varna, so I didn't do that. I did something very crazy and very new, and I'm happy to show you that. The beginning is, uh, very standard hunter's supply, and actually my hand is very interesting. What can you do with a hand like that? I think that the standard approach would be, you have nothing really worthy maturing, so you put down aristocratic and you hope that it will work somehow. But here's the strategy that I want you to show, a little bit new strategy, which is I plan to play for lairs from the very start. So I'm putting down stuff that might even survive being searched, so I have somewhere to go back to. Or even if it will not be searched, it will be very useful when I do the second rotation of my trail. I thought of going to Varna uh, because it was just scouted, but Varna is very tricky as a lair to go to because it is hard to move from Varna, to exit Varna. But I'll not delve too deep into that, just because it's not in this game. So I went from Sofia to from 50 to 46. Uh, we saw Garlic in a discard, and we see Heavenly Host on Mina. I am sure that we'll never play a role in the future, as a little bit of foreshadowing. Uh, so here's the trick: 46 is not an easy location to attack when Dracula is there because it is very far away from everywhere. So it is really cool to put an encounter that is helpful when it matures or when it is served, but it doesn't have to support you in combat. Just because most probably I will not be attacked there. Maybe I will, maybe I will not. Still, soils can reveal some heavenly hosts, so still give some information, even in case of the combat. Now I'm debating: do I want to go to Valona? Do I want to go to Sofia? Maybe which direction I want to build a trail? But I decided to do something a little bit tricky and go through Varna and go around Sofia. And right now, my plan is to go back to Sofia. So I'm not misdirecting. This is let's say, new approach to not misdirecting, not to save misdirection, not to improve encounter economy, but to have very the fastest possible double encounter location. So as you saw, I put into 55 mob because actually mob can help me in the fight. And here's go my fog, which is sad, but not very crucial when you plan on lairs quite often, because when you're protected by free encounters, sometimes getting a fight is okay. And I already have my both soils, so there's a quite good chance that once it gets searched, and I will get my fog back. At least it is good that now I know that I don't have the fog. It's not like I will be planning to go back to the port and then I will lose my fog. So it could be worse. Could be worse. But obviously, it is very irritating that I just got a fog and it got snatched out. So what do I do next? Obviously, like I will have three decisions. Either misdirect Sofia and go there, or go to Athens, but that would be pretty poor decision depending how you want to play it out, or just go to Sarajevo. Scotsword is actually a player that quite rarely does some random mina scan. If he has to work on tickets, he probably will work on tickets, which is understandable. This is like in most games correct strategy. And even if he will reveal me that it's not like I have hoax maturing or rumored vampire maturing, so it will not be that bad. I'm putting down aristocratic vampire. This is the best opportunity because I will not be attacked this day, so I don't need anything that helps me. But aristocratic, maybe it will eat a steak, which will be helpful when I build my vampire lair, or maybe it delay a hunter, which will be helpful when I will go back to a lair, and hunters will be delayed and will not be able to attack me, even if they know where I am. Uh, as you will notice, I very constantly and very often check discard pile, because very often when I play, I use physical copy of items of item deck from my board game to be constantly in control of what items were discarded, what can I expect, and maybe if there are only few trades before hunters, who discarded what, so what items I can expect from everyone. A lot of trades between Van Helsing and Mina, which is very interesting. Uh, I think Van Helsing traded 2 times and only with Mina, so it's not like he's shuffling items, events around. There's something very important going on with Mina, and she keeps her sense of emergency. The Heavenly Host was traded out, and she's on a horse now. Now, this can be a little bit tricky. I'm using my second aristocratic vampire, which is, again, I'm debating between saboteur and aristocratic vampire, because if this aristocratic vampire matures, it will clear my to encounter Sophia, which you don't want to build to encounter lair just to be cleared. So I was debating saboteur, but then I realized, you know what? I will build my Sophia without anything that important. So if Scotsword will see that, oh, there's aristocratic, I will not clear it. So he will have the hard choice if he wants to keep his lair or mature 4 points but lose the lair. I will gladly take both decisions. Either I will have a lair or I will gladly take 4 points. And newspapers. So he knows Valona. That is an issue of not misdirecting, that he knows I was not in Athens. So my trail right now is in many ways quite obvious. He knows I was in 49 and in 50. Maybe I was in 46, maybe not. But he knows a lot about my trail. And that's one of the issues with starting east. But there are strategies whenever you want to go to be sneaky, or you want to go to be powerful. And this today I want to show some power Dracula. Now this is very interesting trade between Lord and Mina, because for hunters it is a difficult decision to make. If you start in Central Europe, you can be very sneaky. It may waste a lot of time for hunters to find your next step, but on the east, it will waste a lot of time for them to actually reach your locations. So who do you send? Do you send Mina, who can be easier killed, and leave Godal, but Godalming stays away and digs through items? Or do you send Godalming, who can easily resupply and is harder to kill? It seems that Godalming got a horse, so it seems that Scotsword made his choice. Now, what I'm putting here, it is actually a very interesting choice, because when you build your, when you plan to go back to lair, you plan to be revealed for hunters. So, and you know when it will happen. Uh, so it is important to build your a trail, so that if hunters will go for you, there's important trail that matures. For example, vampire for points, soil that will heal you from the combat that will happen when hunters go after you. And uh, and if not, then that's great for you. Hunters are busy dealing with the trail, and you are building your super more powerful trail. What's not to like? That's why 28 was for me a bad location to put Saboteur, because uh, I will not benefit from a mature if hunters decide to fight me, and I will be very desperate to, I'm fighting with desperation for my life, and my trail will not be helping me with that. So yeah, Godalming is moving. If he needs to use his tickets, it is probably correct choice, because obviously Godalming is more flexible. Uh, it was interesting that he moved with Seward one step, not for example use a rail ticket, and Mina is staying back and supplying, actually discarding a stake, which like eases me a bit, because fighting uh, 2v1 is less optional if Mina is behind. But what actually Scotsword is planning is obviously Mina has the sense of emergency. So if Godalming steps on me randomly, Mina can jump in with sense of emergency for a 2v1 to save him or to support him, which is a very cool thing to do. Actually, very smart. Uh, so again, what is mature, very worthy mature in my hand, but not a vampire that will clear my lairs. This is very easy choice to make. And what I want in Sofia, I want bats, because Sofia is very high traffic. It is a location you can reach my port cities from, and uh, maybe Scotsword will realize that I want to go back to there, and maybe he will go to 50 to block my path. I would be able to bat him away and go to 50 anyway. So he moves to 6, maybe to confirm my, like to check my trail. Uh, I don't know why exactly. Maybe he doesn't have white ones yet to horse. And Seward is going directly to 36. So, okay, interesting. Why this way? Why not the other way? Mm, I don't know. But it worked. He got where he wanted. Uh, so it is very good. So it was good move. And Mina is, he knew probably that I'm not in 59. I was able to go from 6 to 53 to 59, which might have been dangerous move, but he might have some escape route or maybe free combat items. Still quite risky, but I guess that he suspects me to go back to lairs, so he was just confirming that I'm not going back. This is funny because usual what people got used to is that Dracula tries to escape east, and now Scotsword I think got used to my Dracula style where I want to go back, not to go away. And yeah, wolves just for that little bit of safety versus 2v1. Wolves are really good because they reveal weapon, and I'm preparing my lair 46. So I want to have two vampires. Two vampires are cool. They protect you. They mature. They especially reckless. Whenever someone wants to go in, you can actually score some points from just hunters entering, which is very fun, very cool. What does he do now? He knows where I am. Basically, he knows my trail enough to know that I'm at 50. So this is big decision point. This is quite risky for Dracula because it is up to hunters what to do. So they can decide if they are ready to attack me or not. Which and Scotsword decided he's ready. I have two choices: either ambush with bats or ambush with both bats and wolves. In hindsight, I probably should have ambushed with both, just for that little bit of oomph and damage. But I decided I will use bats to get rid of Godaming, so I can go whenever next turn without major concern, and I will leave Wolf. Maybe Mina will join, so I will use on both of them, or maybe they will be forced to go back here and clear it anyway. Stewart is moving already toward my location, and a day trade, which is saying something probably unpleasant is coming my way. But on the other hand, he's not supplying, so in my opinion, this is very important as Dracula. If you're putting hunters into the position when they cannot freely supply, when they cannot move when they're ready, but you force them to move and you force their day actions, uh, this is when you don't allow hunters reach that impossible to beat hyper carry, let's say, state with all items, all events. They just find you and kill you. So a little bit of disruption here. Now, big decision. Does Mina join, spending a powerful card and two of her valuable hit points, or it is 1v1, probably with some event? Scotsword is pinning 46. Probably he might be thinking about going there with Mina to block my lair strategy. Bats are actually maybe in a second, uh, but he doesn't know what is there. Maybe he'll go there and get bashed by number of events, and I'll be happy to use events encounters on her and not go back to the lair and don't care. So I think it may be correct call and heroic leap. It is funny because in a way, my bats saved Godalming from awkward situation, because if he wasn't batted, I would be able to feed in place to gain back 3 out of the 5 damage, and then have a day fight. And what Godalming does, like, he probably needs to run away. He doesn't want to stay for a night fight so heavily damaged, and the heroic leap would go back to waste. I'm thinking, if I want to, what do I want to do with Godalming? Number of options. For example, I was able to push him into the knight fight with reckless, and then maybe move on to him. So I would have uh, maybe try to finish him off, but quite risky. I like risk, and in the end I decided against it. That I have soil in 28, in 46 I have soil and vampire. I can get my have a double vampire with soil. If that matures, I will be healed. Uh, so I don't feel that I need to go risky. I need to like more like execute my own plan rather than disrupt his plan. And that's part of the lair strategy, that vampire from before is paying his dividends. So I know I'm completely safe one turn. And when you know that, it is always helpful. I can go into the revealed location without worrying for my life. Now, what to do with Valona though? Valona is a tricky location. I have a mob there. Wolves and mob is very fun combo. They deal a lot of damage, they reveal stuff, maybe forced to discard stuff, like very powerful one versus few combat, but vampire is also powerful one versus few combat encounter. And I really want to put that trail of rumored vampires to score a lot of points early. Uh, now, because of now, this is now this is interesting because hunters stocked a lot of power. Actually, they stopped growing in strength. This is funny when you think about this. I am increasing in SA in strength because I'm building my most powerful locations right now, and hunters were forced to day trade, to move, to be delayed. So this this strategy reverts the usual dynamic that Dracula has to run away because hunters are too powerful, and now hunters are like a bit disrupted. Some thinking on Helsing. Maybe he was thinking on a trade to prepare for me, because the downside of what I'm doing is that actually hunters have a really good guess what I will do next. It's not like I have many locations where I will go to, right? Uh, if I'm damaged and I will run away to sea, this is a big win for hunters. I will the thing I said about growing in strength by by both sides will revert back, because I'll go to sea, I will take damage, I will not build trade, I will grow weaker, and hunters will have time to supply, to heal, to set up horse economy. And clearly there's something going on with tickets here. Something is not right yet with horses and tickets, especially that Seward moved with a ticket, uh, which is either oversized by Scotsword or meant something. And yeah, and Helsing still works on tickets. So how to put pressure? So like, in my opinion, in reality, I have two choices here, and I think I made a mistake here, which is funny. I moved here to the lair to 55. Is it a big mistake? Depends. I mean, I'm protected by free encounters. In a lot of situations, hunters would be afraid to attack here. I, a lot of stuff can be here. Will he attack me with weakened Godalming? I don't know if he doesn't even know if his horses will work. Is Seward like is he planning to scare me off with Seward, or does he actually have ability to excellent weather? So this is very big risk. This is a move that either wins me a game or loses me a game. What I was able to do was actually feed in place, and I think it would be a better move because of many reasons, which I'm not able to speak right now because I will not have a time. Because this round, Scotsword decided to pull a trigger and use his renewed vigor, which is funny because if Seward has excellent weather, he doesn't even need renewed vigor to try and fight me 3v1, which is very dangerous position for Dracula. But his horse economy isn't that good. So probably he wants to attack me and be sure that actually Godalming can horse on me if he fails. A lot of thinking on his part. He probably isn't sure how he wants to do this. I don't know. It would be cool to know his thinking process, what he's taking into consideration. And yeah, so this is the moment. It is still week 2, so I can escape round 3. Even escape as mist can be really good here, depending on how the combat goes. But Godalming has only 7 health. I have 2 damaging encounters and a vampire, so it can really go both ways. If I was on 3 vampires, that would be funny, or even 2 vampires. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. I still had my Wolf's Plus mob. So, first vampire to go, new vampire, and to start off, do you try mesmerize or attack? Usually for hunters it is best to try to run away, especially on a damaged hunter. So, yeah, he's running away. Now, again, like a 50-50 choice, plotting or damage. Again, it is quite tricky. There are some some lines where one choice should be better than the other, but in the end, it is more guessing than anything else. So I decided to plot. It was just like a 50-50 guess, to be honest. And yeah, and he punched. So it is very important punch, because if he goes down to 3 health or to 5 health, this is a really big difference. If he needs to play around being dead to claws or not. Does he have some buffer? I was thinking claws or fangs. There was a little bit of thinking in that, you know, a lot of I want to heal with fangs, but it may be obvious. He may have a knife. He may want to try to damage new vampire, especially if he wants to try to 3v1 me, so she will fight a lot. So I decided claws because it is like not oftenly blocked, and yeah, but he just ran away, so not really that important of a choice. So what do you do here as Godalming? Healing, not that impactful, so probably just supply. It would be funny if I put pot in here, but uh, quite often hunters play around pots when they renewed vigor. Yeah. I needed to take a short break here, so I will forward it. A lot of tension. What will happen? Will Seward jump on me here, or right now, or no? Okay. Lots of talk. It appears that Scotsword had excellent weather, but he didn't trade it and didn't prepare correctly. So Seward just railed using charted courage to 6, which is a really big deal. 2v1 that early against that damage hunters, against with the trail that I have built, isn't that scary. Even if they will deal me a lot of damage, I have soil in a way, like along my route to mature. I can hide in Athens and be somewhat safe from uh, attack and feed. Maybe if the fight will go very well, I can feed in place and maybe fight with the fighters in a day. He with fangs and all of that. A lot of options. Uh, really big thing. Like, but that's the thing. If you force hunters into constant movement and not just safe sitting back and planning, but you force them where they have to move, when they have to move, not for them to choose when they attack you. It is easier to force them to make mistakes. So now it's the go time. I launch my all of my stuff at their face, and it is funny because it appears that one of Mina's event was forewarned. So she forewarned my mob. Okay, so I'm thinking wolves are still really good too because I will see their weapons. I can play around that. Uh, I can know if Mina has knife to protect against my fangs, if I mesmerize her, and okay, and second forward. So my free encounter lair turned out to be vampire, which actually in the long run, if I survive this, if this fight will not be like game ending on the spot, it is really good. I mean, I don't have one fog because of the stupid behind the veil, but he doesn't have any forewarns for the rest of the game. Yeah, I didn't have mesmerize. He escapes. Uh, if he tried to play some punches or be some tricky, he would just lose more health, which is why usually just escaping is a good option. Because sometimes Dracula may pick a different option, or Captain Gyro being a joker here, and like some sugar coating on top of this game, some additional entertainment. So any YouTube money I will get from this video, I will give at least 20% of that to Gyro for this additional entertainment. So this is a very tricky situation. I know that there is Heavenly Host somewhere. I know that Mina has rifle, so I know quite a bit, but I don't have that much knowledge as especially that knowledge I hoped for. Uh, Godalming has 5 health, which means he's very killable. Mina has 7 health. If I'm killing Godalming, I'm probably not killing Mina. So, very tricky. What I was actually thinking, there's a limit of items that hunters have. And clearly, between Godalming and Mina, there was only one horse to spare, and Scotsword discarded a stake, knowing that Godalming may need some help with clearing. So this is a very anti-Scotsword thinking, that if he discarded a stake, he discarded it either for knife, for horse, or for heavenly host. If he discarded it for the knife, I think he would reveal knife, not rifle, because knife is like the obvious expected item on Mina, and rifle can be that tricky surprise. Oh, if he had a horse, he would definitely reveal a horse. So what does he have? what he discarded stake for. and and probably Godalming has a heavenly host too. So if he plays heavenly host on Mina, he probably plays it round one because it is the unexpected. And even not, maybe she punches and I will heal. I don't know what Godalming will do. Uh, he might play a knife or heavenly host. I don't know, but I'm going here. And what would you look at that? Heavenly host. Isn't it sweet? And to so if you're Scotsword, if you're asking why this is, I gave the full explanation. And actually, Godalming dodged. He expected me to attack Godalming, so it worked. Uh, like it wouldn't be better. It was a 2v1 fight. He expended Renewed Vigor and 2 for Warns, and I'm killing and healing. So what does he play on Godalming? Where I know that he has a heavenly host. I could play actually Strength, but I'm thinking maybe he probably escapes or plays heavenly host, right? And I was right. So this was uh, this was a very tricky fight. Uh, there was a world when I fang Godalming, and instead of being 14 half, I would be right now at about 2 to 4 health, something like that, which would be much worse, naturally. So what do? If I was, this is interesting. Seward searches obviously to stop any like nasty hoaxes matures, or maybe bodyguards. If that were bodyguards and I stayed in place to feed, I would be able, I would be able to probably ruin Godalming with my bodyguards and day fight. Uh, I'm taunting Scotsword here. I hope he doesn't mind. Uh, that's when I play Dracula, a mean spirit enters me, and I'm sometimes like that, little bit of a mini. So my situation is, so hunters try to attack me, and my situation got better after the attack. I'm debating should I hide here, but chances of killing Godalming are so low that I decided to just, continue building. I don't have to escape to sea as I expected. I can go through land, which is perfect. And I even know that, Seward is delayed. Mina is not even there. Helsinki is too far. So I'm completely safe. And it is really cool to be safe as Dracula because you can get out of your hand and play all those encounters that don't protect you. Uh, because if you play out too many protective cards, you end up with a hand that cannot protect you, and it can be then tricky. Oh, and actually, I think it is a bug, but it says that from Mina died in 55, and it's the same distance to Rome and to 11 Hospital. But oh well. Okay, and it appears that Mina had two heavenly hosts and a rifle. Really good hand if Dracula doesn't have fangs or doesn't expect uh, heavenly host on Mina. So Godalming is moving. Obviously, he doesn't want to stay there. He doesn't have items. He needs to resupply. 10 is on a trail, which can be dangerous. Which, if that was a vampire, there was a world where he dies. So he ran into very inconvenient city 56 away from me instead of, for example, to a city a little bit closer. But he didn't really have that much choice. What does Helsing do? He moves towards me. Not surprising, because he may feel forced to move closer since Mina died and Godalming is out of action. Seward definitely cannot take care of both Dracula and Trail. Like, probably he can't take care of any of them alone. So he needs a little bit of support, little bit of pressure. I know I have soil in Klausenburg, but I have only one health lost, which is, do I want to lair it? Do I want to mature it? And I realized, you know what? This is the perfect turn to wolf form, because in 46 I have vampire to mature. If it will mature, it will clear my wolf form, and right now I will heal from the soil. So why not? Uh, right now it is cool to do some tricks around lairs, around some tricky moves, but I have such an advantage that I don't need to do any tricks. I just want to go as far as possible. I don't want to wait for Godalming to resupply. I don't want to stay against powerful Seward. I want to go away from all this mess. If they will, and again, this is the similar choice as earlier with building the trail. They have a difficult choice. If they go for trail, I'm free to move whenever I want. If they go after me, I have a valuable trail that matures, and that each mature matters: points, health, bodyguards. And I put down the spice if for some reason Helsing went on me, but he got scouts. Not that surprising. He had some of revealing stuff in there, and he wanted to rule out if I'm exiting or if I'm just doing some tricks here around, which is a very good move. So no 1v1 versus Helsing, and this is a big decision point for Scotsword. Does he want to go after Trail or does he want to go after me? Because again, what Seward does decides the game state. Godalming cannot clear this alone, but Helsing cannot fight me alone. So this is the so he goes after me, which is interesting. But probably he knows that I have rumored new vampire. He knows that I have free encounters lair in Salonika again with rumor. He discarded one stake already, so he probably decided that it was too much effort to clear all of that stuff. I might win the game by the time he, or like win the game, like get too far away, too full trail, too much stuff will happen. Now here's a very interesting move, and he assessed that he doesn't have any heavenly hosts, and we often say that we expect hunters to get through the item deck twice, but as you can see, the second week is ending. It seems that I will probably mature my rumored vampire, and there are still items in the item deck, and simply hunters doesn't have time to mature, to supply. He may not, he may never get his heavenly hosts anymore. So he decided to use CG right now just to limit my options, which is Very interesting play. If I went north, Mina will probably never catch me. It is very difficult for Helsing to follow me. So he just splits in half my options. Do I go back to my lairs and to my encounters, but to a location where I can be closed, or do I go to the open Europe? In the second, third week, I prefer Europe because of the number of connections, number of numbers I can go, and again, Mina is no threat. Helsinki is like the weaker hunter. I doesn't know what he has, which is a bit dangerous, but it is difficult for. I don't want to go near Godalming, who is supplying a lot right now, and to Seward, who seems to be ready. Right, he clearly like moves where I am. I purposely want. Ah, okay, yeah, we're debating on the fight in Valona. It would be very dicey. I might have lost the game there. Uh, if it was a 3v1 fight, but it also may. I don't. Uh, but yeah, I mean, for him it will be much better in the end. There's no denying. And hey, a lair. This time, like the traditional lair with the magic encounter. Uh, uh, it is cool to damage Godalming even more, to keep him out of action, and to know an item pistol. What's not to like? He still doesn't know which direction I chose. I might be very well going to Vienna and still North Germany. I know CG is not a threat. Heavenly hosts are not a threat. So Prague and going further north is not a death sentence, but it would be very dangerous because he can jump ahead of me, block my movement away, and force me into moving onto him. Not fun times. For now, I was just thinking I want to keep close to the ports because I can run to the port, wait for my stuff to mature, and here I am. A 1v1, totally not scary stuff, especially that I have uh, soil in the Salonika, so I can lose some health, I don't care. Now, this is interesting. uh, it would be hard to claw down Helsing. He really took too hard that he has the lower pool of health. Now this is interesting. I know all of his weapons, so what would bodyguards do? Deal only 2 damage. Do I need it? If I will bring him down to 2 health in this combat, I will just feed in place and just kill him. Even like 3 health, right? But so I decided to keep bodyguards for later use. Uh, yeah, I uh, uh, thought on typing to Scotsword that since he has so many items, so many anti-claw items, I definitely don't claw him. So I claw him because I mean he probably either punches or escapes. Most probably escapes. I was hoping he will punch me, so I will still keep my mesmerize. But yeah, he makes the correct choice and escapes. Would be funny if I mesmerized here, but you know, keeping damage is still cool. So still, Mina is undersupplied, Godalming is damaged. So right now, I'm like almost playing against one hunter. Like on by which I mean against Seward. because uh, like Helsing, I know all of his items and he has only 4 health. Uh, Godalming, I know his items, right? And his low health. And Mina still not ready. And he's still working on tickets, which is interesting. He has damage hunters and working on ticket, but if he cannot like catch me, if he cannot move, then yeah, even having health not that important. This is interesting. I have wolves in Sofia, so should I deal 2 damage to Godalming, or maybe see his second weapon, or should I lair it? What's the advantages and disadvantages? I'm not sure if I will ever fight Godalming anymore, but I want to have my second fog as fast as possible because he doesn't have CG, he doesn't have forewarned, so fog right now is guaranteed safety for me. And I put down obviously Reckless in Mercedes because this is a winning vampire. If it matures, I win. So it is a clock. If I will have my fog, if I will have escape to the sea, I will have my Wolfram back. So these are my win. So again, this will be the decision. If he tries to win the game by catching me and killing me, if yes, then this vampire in Merciless will be my winning condition, and I will be able to just run around in sea or hide in England, and he will have to deal with it at some point. Now some trade between hunters. Uh, you hate to see that because I work so hard to get knowledge on items of hunters, and there they trade, and I don't know who has what. Helsing still on for health. He checking discard pile, constantly check discard piles. He discarded pistol, so by the fact that he trades and supplies, I know less and less about his items, which is like a little bit more dangerous. My next move, I know I'm safe because how does he reach me? He doesn't. uh, Unless I do some like tricky move to 60, but this is too risky to lose, right? So instead I will go to lose. And again, if he will deal with my reckless, he will have new vampire to deal with, which is like building the win condition, right? Now, obviously, I'm maturing, and what I do, I don't show him that there was soil, so he has less knowledge about my encounters. He just knows that there was at least one vampire, which isn't telling him that much. A lot of stuff talking, but actually, as Dracula, you have a lot to think of, a lot to plan of, so you don't have that much talking space as hunters. And chase continues. A lot of uh, scare all the newbies away. Yeah. Uh, so horses are scary. I was wolf forming. I was moving directly away from hunters, and they are back on track, back on me, very close to me, and with renewed vigor, for example, they can actually attack me next turn, which may be dangerous. And I start to need thinking, about being safe, which I will approach in quite a twisted way, but this is the game where I have almost a guaranteed way to win. If I want to, I can just hack port cities, I can hide in a fog, go onto sea and then just land on Monday next week. And I still have my wolf form right now, so there's a lot of stuff. But I decided, uh, let's be a little bit tricky, a little bit funny. And but this is not like even bad move right now, because he doesn't know where I am and the direction I am. He hiding in Toulouse right now isn't uh, isn't like expected, isn't something that he can guess. And if he moves with any hunter, for example, Godalming can move on me right now, and he has only 7 health. He will have fight with me, with New Vampire, and night fight with Reckless, because I will use Bats to push him into Reckless. So this is a move that is actually quite safe. He can only attack me with 2v1 if he has second sense of emergency. Remember that one was on Mina. But he doesn't check Toulouse, which is good for him. I don't know why did he want to exactly to Paris. I might have been in Paris, this is true, if I went to 15 and 42. But okay, I'm not killing Godalming. I was able to win on this day. The opportunity didn't happen. I still have a good trail because I have 2 vampires in a row, one protected with bats. And new vampire has a rumor just in case he had a vampire there. And he moves here. I was debating if I should ambush, but then he didn't use stakes when he searched when he was east. So I realized probably he doesn't have a stake. Let's hide this vampire. I don't want him to be like attacking sewer that can heal easily. I want him to stay alive and be my win condition. And he checked 25 with Helsing, uh, which made him move away from me, but allows him to trade with Mina. And he checked if I didn't backtrack. If I backtracked, that would be his like opportunity to deal me some heavy damage, find my location, and actually get back into the game. So that's why you sometimes don't do tricky movements, especially when you're ahead and you need some desperation. So I expected him actually to trade with Helsing and use Mina scan to make sure that I didn't go to like basically 24, right? Because he checked 60 with scout. So oh yeah, he is trading. Okay, and what does Mina do? She got a horse, so she's back. Okay, and she did nothing with Mina. He didn't scan. Interesting. Mina actually again is back a dangerous hunter, full health, full items. I don't know what she has. And then I decided to be a little bit tricky and fun. Probably the best way to play would be to go to 4 here, because I would be safe and I can escape to sea. But I decided, you know what? Let's let's deliver him little something something, right? Okay, day prompt always, and it is not a newspaper and not surprising return. So it is like either, oh, it's Speedy Telegraph, which surprised me because I was expecting him to like search with Godalming and follow up with Seward, but why now? And Val Helsing searches probably for a searching event, and look at that, he got one. Local rumors. I'm glad Godalming didn't search first, because then he would know that I'm exactly at 15. But 2v1, I have bodyguards, full health, and mob not that bad. And yeah, he obviously needs to check like the furthest location. If I was like in Spain and building distance, he needs to catch me before I like rebuild the trail and escape to sea with full trail. Instead, he knows that I'm not, and I'm somewhere closer, which is a tad more dangerous. So he searches what is my next location after Merciless. So he checks 15, and it is 15, just not next location. I use my mob obviously because like, why not? And now, do I use bodyguards? I have no idea about her items, and I want to know. I want to deal her back to 4 damage, so she dies. Like she needs to think about dying, and she has anti-claw item, so uh, I know she has a horse, pistol. She doesn't have heavenly host. She doesn't have crucifix. She might have a knife because I didn't see a single knife yet. And I might kill her again and win on the spot. Now I have claws, but I over tricked myself. He was constantly escaping, so I expected him to expect me that he will escape, so he will punch. It would be funny, or like claw, but he got escape for free. So my opportunity for a kill passed, which is a bit sad. It is a bit sad. And she goes back to 5 health, which isn't that easy to kill. And what do I do now? I'm actually in the middle. It is a dangerous position. I'm in the middle of hunters. Yeah, Reach Dracula's Dark Hole. If I Dark Hole, despite all everything of what happened, I might have lost the game. Like I have such a massive advantage. It would be. I still want to win, but I don't want to do like the totally boring. I know my fog is safe. I go with the fog, like Tunant or even a wolf form, and I just run around the clock. I still want to like introduce, especially that this is a casual game. I want to introduce it a bit fun to have the game like exciting to the very end. And hey, if Scotsword gets back from this like really bad position, then kudos to him. Uh, it's still game for fun, right? So I'm just thinking, what is the move that will not be boring, but just doesn't lose me the game on the spot, like for free, because that would be uh, I don't want to be like you know forfeiting the game for Scots because that's also not fun. Uh, so I'm thinking of the wolf form. What is the wolf form that doesn't require me to use a fog? Yeah. A little bit of banter with Scotsword here. Uh, so, a little bit of the talk. Whoops, what just happened? Why? We're talking about Velona, and here I am in Velona. How the game knew. Yeah, okay. So let's go back. They're listening to us. You know what's funny? I will try to skip over a location over of what my choice will be. So uh, you will have a short guessing game alongside with Scotsword. So, whoops, that wasn't okay. I try to introduce fun, and I think it didn't work as intended. Okay, we're here. Let's pretend you didn't saw that much. You didn't see that much. Here, I will formed. And actually, Scotsword played renewed vigor, so I was like, "Oh man, I can really lose here." And he's looking for me. Actually, yes, 29 was not 21, 9, right? This is Brussels, where Godalming is right now. Was a location where I was thinking to go because if I go there, I can go to the sea next. So it is like medium danger. But Seward can rail there, Mina can attack me there, so dangerous. And yes, he checks the borders, which is the usual hunter strategy. It is a tad scary because if Godalming on Seward will find me, Mina can join them, and especially if Seward will find me, she can heal to half then. But he didn't. I did. I tried to survive on a tricky movement here, like a little bit as a challenge. It is sometimes good to like introduce various, like, I don't know how to say it, challenges, learning points for yourself. What do you want to train when you play? And I decided, okay, I want to be tricky, and actually it was the perfect amount of trickiness because he didn't find me only with his last movement. So Mina came back to me and she's ready to die again. uh, which is funny because when you have a lot of points and a lot of health, and it is in that state when hunters are constantly behind and are just uh, running to get back into the game, from my perspective, you can actually see that he didn't know that, but I was trying to win the game earlier, like with the trap for Godalming into Toulouse, or for example, right now, right? If I kill Mina now, I win. Ooh, and she started with a knife. So I'm in quite comfortable. I was in very good position, but right now the combat is uh, like in my hand. I know all her items, so and I know that she can't play uh, knife this turn, and it is tricky. The more you play the game, which is what is fascinating about Fear of Dracula, the more you play the game, the more you understand how tricky the game is. It is like totally acceptable that I expect him to dodge, so I don't use my fangs and I for example plot or do something like that, and he escapes because we both know that he can't protect against fangs. So what he has to do? He has to escape. He has to dodge. So he doesn't dodge, right? So I played one step more, and I tried to fang him, knowing that fangs are safe. I didn't work. So will he escape right now? Or maybe knife to protect from fangs? No, he played pistol. That bastard. He I'm starting thinking, wait, I have mesmerized Mina with free health. I have to kill her here, right? Because uh, that would be an epic. That would be an epic escape if she survived this. So I'm thinking now, what can I do to really kill her? I don't want to let her go, right? Uh, so I have claws, I have punch. I decided here's the pistol. You know what? Okay, not that much thinking. I will just claw. I was thinking on plotting too, and I think he did like pretty decent, pretty decent guess on escaping here, because I was totally thinking on using strength or plotting, and and I got him. And this is the win. When hunters are battered and the resources are expanded, and you have influence and you have health, it's uh, yeah, it's comfortable position. Obviously, Scotsword is very right. Uh, if it was 3v1 in Velona, it would be completely different story. He would have only one forewarned there, so one of my encounters would trigger. So actually, Godalming would be in a killable range, which is uh, which was would be very tricky, because I might be able to to kill Mina and kill Godalming, but also, he may be able to kill me, right? Especially that Seward had a gun with holy bullets. So with heavenly host and holy bullets, it's a lot of burst damage, especially when I was on 10 health. And yeah, I may have died there. So going back to this exact point, I think this was a crucial spot when I think in the end I probably did a mistake. Where is it? Yeah, when I'm here. So I moved to Valona to 55. And it is very tricky, because actually Scotsword had everything that he needed. He had horse, he had renewed vigor, he had excellent weather, and he had double forewarned. He had everything that he needed to keep me there. If some of the pieces didn't work, like renewed vigor and horse didn't work, excellent weather, as we actually could see, or like he had no forewarns, I would be safe there. What more, if he attacked me there, he would lose. As we can see, he didn't use the excellent weather, and he did lose. So it can be a very worthwhile gamble for Dracula to take. Like, okay, hunters, especially that what you can see, he had only 54 deep in events, so it is actually quite lucky to have like all of the top events uh, necessary in this situation. So it is a worthwhile gamble. When you go there, just as I did, you probably improve your position as Dracula. And if you are too scary cat for the entire game, if I went to the sea here, I would be just losing the game, or like constantly decreasing my power. Uh, it wasn't a good choice to go the sea, even if I have a big ass lair with rumor token to mature that would clear the sea trails. But there's another way of play. If I feed in place, build up to 13 health, which is like a big difference between 13 and 10, what does he do? Unfortunately, he has one more day to move Seward closer, to supply with Godalming and heal with Godalming. But there's a very important point on 6. Does he go to 6 with Sam Hunter or no? And at 6, I have Aristocratic Vampire. If he goes to 6, like maybe with Charted Courage as he did with Seward, or if Seward stays here and keeps threatening excellent weather, or just moves forward, and he goes with Mina, then Aristocratic Vampire will delay him. And again, for next turn, he will have only 2 hunters. If he has 2 hunters, I go back to my lair and I'm in a good position. I went safe to the lair, and I'm on a big health pool. So probably, I mean, going to 55 was very risky because it is like game deciding point. Uh, in a sense, it is in Hunter's hand to win the game or lose the game here. But if I feed in place and then go to the lair, I think it would be a better decision overall. So, what do you think about the game? Did you like it? Uh, do you have any comments? Maybe you have some remarks or notes by yourself? And I hope I was able to show you some, uh, how to say, maybe some fresh look at the Dracula gameplay. As Dracula, I mean, not only as the board game. And thanks for watching. Cheers.